Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Warzone 2 gameplay, obviously very different from Warzone 1. We got movement changes, we got all sorts of mechanic changes, and the loadouts and your class setups are also very, very different this year. They're obviously much harder to acquire in full. If you want a full-on loadout that's not just your primary guns that you buy out of the buy station, you have to go through and either complete a stronghold, and keep in mind there's only a few of those, in a match at the start, or you have to wait for the free loadouts to come in later on in the game, and then once one team grabs them, you can still grab it, but the icon disappears, so you don't know exactly where it's at. So getting your full-on loadout with your primary, your secondary, your equipment, your perks, very different this year. Very much so not as easy to, obtain, which maybe is why this is not being talked about as much, but perks in Warzone 2 are incredibly broken. There's been a lot of conversation going around recently about perk packages in Warzone 2, perks actually working in Warzone 2, and today we're going over all of the very wonky and very strange things regarding the perk system here in Warzone 2, because by the end of this video, you guys are probably going to be equally as confused as I am after going through and trying to figure this stuff out. So if you remember way back when Warzone 2 was first officially announced, they said initially that perks weren't even going to be available in the game at launch. That was a very clear statement in a Call of Duty blog. There would be no perks, there wouldn't even be loadouts. You'd be buying your primary and your any other desirable weapons, whether you want to call it a true secondary or whatever else, through the buy station. Now, of course, things changed, things evolved. They got feedback from the people who played Warzone 2 early. They got feedback from those who watched the game and all the community feedback after it was revealed. And obviously we have loadouts in the game now. We have perk packages in the game now, but we don't fully have the option to customize our perks, which leaves a lot to be desired when it comes to, getting your full-on loadout. Now, there are some decent perk packages. However, these don't actually work correctly either, on top of there being a huge issue with just fundamental perks working in Warzone 2. So you might have seen recently there's a lot of conversation going around regarding some people actually having access to a custom perk, loadout or a custom perk setup within Warzone 2. They don't have to use the default and standard perk presets that most players have to end up using, Vanguard, Scout, whatever the other ones are called. There's a bunch of them, right? So that's where things begin to get confusing, right? And let's focus on this for a bit here. So custom perks are not a direct thing. If I go in game right now on my main account that I play on every single day and I go into my perk section, there's just the presets. I've been running the first one, Vanguard, I think it's called, because it's somewhat decent. Honestly, most of these perk combinations, I don't feel like I'm getting the most out of, so I don't even pay attention to them. There is the one overkill one, that one's kind of decent, so you can have your two primaries. There's one that has Bird's Eye as the, main tier 3 ultimate perk, and we'll talk more on that here in just a moment. But in general, on my main account where I play MW2, Warzone 2, DMZ, I only have preset perk packages. The rumor going around, though, is that free-to-play players can actually access their custom perks. If you own MW2, though, for whatever reason, there's a bug that doesn't let that happen. But I've gone through and I've tested this. I've logged on to a second account, a free-to-play account here on PC on Battle.net, where I would go for Easter eggs back in Warzone 1, so I didn't tank my stats while trying to figure those out, right? And on the second account, I'm up to level 4, played a bit of DMZ so I can lock my custom loadout, yet I still don't have the option to edit my perk packages. I'm still stuck with just the preset ones. So the fact that people are saying only free-to-play players can access their custom perks, that's incorrect already, because clearly that's not the case. On both of my accounts, free-to-play and pay-to-play, I only have preset perks. Another thing going around, though, is that only free-to-play players on Xbox can access their perks. And I don't have a free-to-play account on Xbox, so perhaps you guys can give me some more details down in the comments below. But from everything that I've researched, scouring Reddit, scouring Twitter, scouring my comments section, that doesn't seem to be consistent either. I've had people say that they are on Xbox, they're free-to-play players, they can't access their perks. They can't create custom perks, rather, I should say. Everyone can access them. I've had people say that they're on Xbox, they own Modern Warfare 2, they can access custom perks. In fact, on PC, for about a week after launch, if I clicked on just the Battle Royale quads menu section rather than going into the Warzone 2 actual menu, it would let me use a custom perk package, but it was clearly using my multiplayer classes and not my battle royale classes. So that was just a visual glitch. So right now, there is actually zero definitive answer as to who is able to use custom perk packages and who's not able to use them. And for what it's worth, those who have said they can actually see them and can actually create their own custom packages, they say that they are working in games. So just using a perk package in and of itself is entirely broken right now. Some players have access to it, some players don't, even though they meet the same criteria as those who have access to it. There's been no answers, no communication on what's going on here, which in and of itself is very frustrating. There's also even more issues with perks in Warzone 2, though we'll get to those in just a moment. Real quick, just want to remind you guys, if you are new to the channel, every single day I got you covered with all things going on in COD, news, updates, class setups, tips, everything you need to know for MW2, Warzone 2, and DMZ is right here. So feel free to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications. Around 60% of viewers watching are not already subscribed, so if that's you, we'd love to have you join the family. Also, if you guys enjoy this video, if you guys find it helpful, if you want to get the word out on this system being so broken, let me know by dropping a like on it as well. Let's try and aim for 2,500 likes on this one. Anyways, the perk packages, custom perks, preset perks, that's all broken. However, the perks themselves also seem to not be working as intended. If you'll notice, as you go into Warzone 2 gameplay and you have any given perk package on, preset package in this case, it seems like the first two basic perks, those work as intended. Whether it's scavenger and double time or, EOD or whatever else, those seem to be working fine. But then you get to your tier 2 perks, your bonus perks, which can be a handful of different things. Cold-blooded, restock, a bunch of stuff. Those don't always seem to be working either. It seems like in some games I've had restock working, other games I haven't, so that consistency doesn't seem to be working right. Also, the ultimate perks don't seem to be working right either. High alert, I have never once gotten a high alert ping in game to this day, even though I've had it on numerous times. Other players using other tier 3 perks also have said the same, with the exception of Bird's Eye, which, as I'm sure you've seen recently, it's been talked about a lot, actually gives you sort of an unlimited UAV, if you will, from any stronghold pings, enemies calling in UAVs, your own UAVs. Bird's Eye is active to all of that, which doesn't seem to be working as intended either. That just means Bird's Eye right now is incredibly broken and incredibly overpowered as it stands. But in general, it seems like a good half the perks aren't working either, or sometimes they'll be working and sometimes they won't be working whenever you select any given class setup. It seems like as of right now, based through all the community reports and testing that I've seen done, the only way to have perks that do work is to use the default classes in the loadout menu rather than your own custom ones. Now, of course, this means you'd be getting your default guns. You wouldn't be able to have your custom RPK, your custom M4, your custom sniper, whatever the case may be. So if you wanted those, you'd have to either go get a second loadout, or rather get your loadout first with your custom guns, then go get a second loadout and choose a default class so your perks stay there, or choose the default class and go buy guns out of a buy station so you have your primary intended weapons and perks that actually work. So this entire system right now needs some major fixes. It needs a lot of updates because it is completely, it seems like, RNG as to whether or not you can actually create your own custom perks or be forced to use presets and then actually have those perks work in game. And obviously, they're a huge advantage when it comes down to it because loadouts are not easily obtainable this year, as mentioned earlier. So when you can have fast hands, when you can have high alert, when you can have double time and all this other stuff, it's impactful. It'll change gunfights, but right now, it doesn't change gunfights because they don't work. So hopefully this video can help bring some attention to this issue. Hopefully we can get some answers and some solutions soon, because right now this entire system just does not make any sense whatsoever. So as we get any new information on this, as we see any other updates go live between Warzone 2, DMZ, and MW2, you guys already know I'll have you covered with that stuff. So feel free to hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications. Also, if you guys enjoyed this video, let me know by dropping a like on it as well. That is gonna wrap things up for today, though. As always, if you want to check out any of my partners, be sure to use code IMMORTAL for a discount on all Scuff, G Fuel, Gamer Advantage, and Control Freak products, and the links for all those can be found down in the description below. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.